Man, Disney, y'all just had to throw a strong one at us with Amphibia. I mean, I just love the vibes and creativity that oozes from this show. I was excited for the series when I first heard about it, and it grew more and more as we got closer to the release, and now I have to say it lived up to expectations and more. This is just a downright pleasant show to watch that actually gets you into everything going on. It just makes you want to hop for joy.
That was funny.
The series is created by Matt Braley, who worked on shows like Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, and Big City Greens, so it has a bit of familiarity to it, but it stands out on its own with the way it goes about itself. The main premise is about a girl named Anne Boonchoi who gets separated from her friends and gets transported to a world of amphibians and befriends the locals and has to adjust to her new life and new home. Sounds pretty simple, but the biggest driving force is the environment and the characters, with a mystery element about why Anne is even there thrown in to keep things even more interesting. They managed to take this idea and push it to its fullest, which I enjoy that they're able to push themselves for quality. The world is pretty creative and has a nice vibrancy, even though it's a dirty ass swamp. I give them credit, they make a dirty swamp look pleasant. That's something not very easy to do, but they pull it off flawlessly.
It's not all that.
The characters have a lot of life put into them. They feel fairly reminiscent of the townspeople of Gravity Falls and even Big City Greens. The main character, Anne, is basically a lost teen wanting to get back home. She's fairly energetic and even resourceful girl sometimes. Like when she first arrives, she sets up traps to fend off attackers and even defends her friends from a giant mantis. I enjoy her sense of bravery. She has a clear problem having to deal with peer pressure from her old friends, which adds some depth to her.
Ooh, that's nice.
Hey! What are you doing?
Something's not right here. Let's just go back.
Ugh, I thought you were trying to be my friend.
I am.
Well, this is what friends do, remember? They help each other get the things they want.
Huh?
Look, if a friend likes a pencil case, you get it for them. If your friend likes your new shoes, you give them to her. And if a friend wants you to steal a crazy music box from a thrift store, even if you really don't want to, you do it, okay? Because if you don't, they might not want to be your friend anymore.
It's kind of different for a Disney show to have the main protagonist pressure someone into doing something they shouldn't, which actually makes her character more interesting than other protagonists Disney has ever shown in the past. But in the end, she'll do what she knows is right. And she's also a nice piece of Taiwanese representation, with her being the first Thai-American main character in an animated series. And she's portrayed excellently with Brenda Song as her voice actress. I'll admit it took some getting used to because I couldn't stop hearing London Tipton, but she was able to mold into the role fast as you keep listening, so it doesn't get too distracting. You eventually realize, okay, this voice works. It works perfectly fine. Springer's her friend helping her adjust to this new life, and he's a pretty happy-go-lucky type of guy. He likes adventure and wants to find a way to prove himself to his family. He looks out for Anne in this crazy world, and they have a genuine camaraderie between them that feels natural in its execution. Sometimes Anne can act as a bad influence on him, but that's the big lesson I'm pretty sure they're going for here.
Hey, sorry I almost got us killed today.
Are you kidding? That was the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me. My heart was beating faster than a dragonfly on a sugar rush. In fact, I'm feeling a little sleepy.
There's also Polly, who's a tadpole, but she by no means lets that stop her. She's somehow the toughest and even the most hyper in her family, and she ain't afraid to show it.
Hop Pop said that you had to stay in the cart. You know you can't take me! Just give me an excuse to use old Doris here.
I think the little one wants to kill me.
Yep.
The comedy of her honestly amazes me, but don't be fooled. She's still a little kid, so it's easy to get past her when you need to.
Polly, look. Candy.
Bribe accepted! I don't have a candy problem! You have a candy problem!
Sprig and Polly's grandpa, Hopadiah, or Hop Pop, is a typical worrywart elder who just wants to look out for his grandkids. He gets a little too paranoid about the dangers out in the world.
Look, Anne, you're a new, unsettling, strange, bizarre, gangly, horrifying...
Thanks. I got it.
Point is, the frogs in this town can be pretty small-minded. And paranoid. We just need to give them time to get used to you. I think it's best you stay put.
But
No buts. Now, I'm gonna go into my study to get a little reading done.
Hop.
Don't do anything stupid.
He worries, but he does truly care for his family and is just looking out for them, even if he can be a bit overbearing at times. These characters as a whole make up a strong dynamic grouping that you actually find yourself wanting to see more of. And that's something I really like about these characters altogether. They just flow off of each other very well.
Yes! Woohoo!
Well, don't get carried away.
Big win!
The comedy is that outlandish humor we've seen in Gravity Falls and works perfectly here. Some of the jokes the characters tell can come off as pretty dark.
now let's go rob an old man!
Ugh.
Yeah, that didn't sound as cool as I wanted it to.
Someone just kill me, please! Let the monster hunt begin!
Don't die!
But they are executed pretty well and are just downright hilarious. I will get some genuine laughs from the show because it's not afraid to have a bit of edge to it, which, let's face it, some shows just need a bit of that edginess to them. Some jokes in a lot of shows tend to be a little too soft. And this show knew, okay, we don't want to be soft with this. We want to hit a little harder than most others. And that's something that is really good for this, and it works to their advantage. It gives them more identity. And you can't argue with that. You just cannot argue with a good sense of identity.
Hey, this is pretty good.
The animation is very bright and vibrant with pretty smooth movements for the characters. The background work manages to make a swamp look nice, which you would think wouldn't be easy, but they make it look effortless. The environment as a whole is so colorful and filled with unique dangers. Most of the dangers Anne and Sprig face are just normal creatures you'd see in a swamp. You got your snakes, your bugs, and all other type of creepy crawlies lurking about, and their way of making these work against Anne is having her more shrunk down to their size. It helps add a sense of urgency to Anne's situation, and the creatures actually feel threatening with their design. So kudos to the team on that part. They understood that they can't have Anne as her normal human size because they want her to face off dangers in the swamp, and the swamp has a lot of mini dangers, things that you can kind of just step on. So their thing is, let's keep her more to their size so it's more of a fair fight, and she actually is more in danger here. I really like that way of thinking that they went about with this. That's just something I really appreciate about this.
We did it!
Up top. Oh boy, that's gross.
This series is another showing of excellency from Disney. It takes fantasy elements and runs with them at their fullest. The characters have depth to them and are all extremely likable. The humor will actually have you rolling on the floor. That's how funny it is. These jokes come off pretty well, and pretty much all of them tend to be bullseyes. That's just something that's difficult, and they manage to pull it off pretty well. The animation is absolutely gorgeous with a phenomenal use of colors and background work. Everything manages to just plain pop, and it honestly just looks like eye candy. It's just something that you're just really happy to be looking at. This is a clear example of Disney showcasing its best and firing on all cylinders to deliver high quality fantasy. But that's just a thought.